Welcome back, everybody, and to anybody new that's joining me today that wants to learn how to do this, I obviously in the title you'll know it's one of those things. Most people don't understand that. I mean, you don't necessarily always have to, but so this is my big fish rod. As you can see, I have a barrel swivel tied in there, and a fluorocarbon leader. Now this leader is really heavy line. This is like I think I have 40 or 60 pound or something like that. Very, very heavy line. My main line I run is this 30-pound Braid. It's an 832 suffix. I just started using them a couple years ago because of the bigger fish that I was targeting. But what I'm going to show you guys is, instead of using this swivel, if you don't want to throw an inline swivel in there, which can mess up some baits. Some baits that you run will not swim properly or will not do what you want them to. And if you're running a leader, this end of the leader, I've made these so I have multiple leaders laying around. Has just a simple clip on it. There is no swivel there. That is just tied direct. So I'm going to show you how to do a line to line knot today. That way you guys don't have to run the swivel, and you'll have a nice strong knot to run for the next time you go out chasing big fish. So let's get started. Okay, so this knot I just learned, so bear with me, but it is strong, and I will put the video up here somewhere. I think it was about a 7 or 8 pound brown trout. They fight like a tank with fins. And that's the first time I tried this knot. I figured I'd try it on a really feisty fish and see how that, how it fared. And I didn't break off. You'll see I caught the fish, continued to use it. I used that knot for a while after that. And then I switched over to a barrel swivel because I was trolling the other day. But I'm going to try and put one of these together. So the trick here is you have to have tension on this main line, which I have past the camera right now so you guys can see. And then you have your leader line, which I'm going to trim up right now. This is only 12-pound test, so it might not work as good, but we'll see. So the trick here is over the top of it and away from me for the first loop. So I just circled it and pulled it tight. So that's the leader, I pulled tight. Now I do the same thing, but towards me now. So to this side of the line. And pull it tight. Now that's only 2 times, but you have to do that 20 times. Hopefully you guys get the gist of it. I'm going to try and do it now, if I don't drop it out of my teeth. Okay, so that's what it should look like. They should be all bound on top of each other, basically creating a nice smooth bead of stuff. I will show you a closer up of that right now. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about there. So that's the main leader line going off that way. Okay, so I have to do a hitch knot now with the Braid. So you take both your main line, so this is my main line. You can see it going past the camera. It's still attached to my rod. You take your leader, pull that together. You take the end of your Braid that you were holding on in your teeth, and you throw it over. So that's over both lines, and you got to make sure that that tag end doesn't go away. So I'm going to hold it with my teeth. So that's one. So that's one hitch knot over both of them. So we're going to do it again. Right through. Cinch that up right there. And I'm going to use my teeth again to lock that down. So now you should have something pretty low profile looking like that. You'll have both tag ends right here, so that's your main braid line, and then that's your leader. So now what you can do, and I recommend it just so that your stuff doesn't get hung up on your line or through your guides when you're casting, because this is something you can reel through your guides. That's why you do this instead of a barrel swivel, so you're not wrecking your guides. So you can take your leader line and trim that right down to by the braid. So right next to where you just did that hitch knot. I just threw that piece away. So now you have the three things. You have your leader, you have your knot, which is, they call it the FG knot. It's a line to line knot. And then you take your braid, and now that you've cut it down so that you don't end up with like a little nub from where you snipped it, you take and you can do a couple more hitch knots up the line. So you can see right there, that's the FG knot. This is the hitch up the line, and I'm gonna pull it right down, pull that tight, make sure it's tight up against the knot, and then I'm gonna do 1, 2 more. If you really want to be a stickler about it, you can go ahead and throw some super glue on this. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 hitch knots just above the main FG knot. So I'm gonna take my extra line now and trim that right up. And then, so I wet the knot, pull tight, and there you go. There's your line to line knot, nice and clean. If I can get it to focus right there. So now you can see, like, I put those little knots above it, you know, so that makes it smooth that way. And obviously the other end is just as smooth as ever, because what it does is those knots crisscrossing. So like, imagine this is your line and these are the crisscross ones. So this one crisscrosses, this one crisscrosses. So what they're doing is they're locking onto that piece of line. I would suggest, if you're going to be doing this, right now I'm just using, that's 12-pound P line. Like most of my leaders, so what I did is I literally still attached to this. So I can tie that up, and I can make a 20-foot leader if I want to out of this stuff. So for now I'm just gonna go like this, cut that, put that away, and now I have a 3 or 4 foot 12-pound leader. I can go out jigging with this for walleye, tie this right to jigs, or if I want, on that thing I showed you, there was a little snap or a clip that you can tie on the end of here. And by tying that on the end of there, you can throw jigging wraps on there, all your other favorite things, but you still have the strength of the braid. So my mainline braid is 30-pound test, and this is 12-pound. But like most people, what they'll do is, like, I have that other leader I showed you earlier. That's going to be 30 to 60-pound fluorocarbon. So invisible underwater. This is basically the same thing. This is fluoro clear, so this is invisible underwater. I like it for tying to like walleye jigs and stuff like that. And there's no stretch in fluorocarbon, almost zero stretch. So it's just like your braid. You can feel your taps real easy. Any kind of swimming bait, you can actually feel the motion of it swimming better that way. And you know, a good portion of baits, you're better off just tying right to it. But you know, like I said, the big thing is the ability to take this leader right here, which it only gets stronger the more you pull on it because of the way it's designed. I'm really happy I found it, so I'm hoping you guys do, you know, get a chance to get out there and use it, because it's one of those things. Like I said, if I didn't put it in here earlier, I'll put it at the end of the video for the, you know, more videos like this. But it'll be the trout video that I used, and I mean, I was throwing a pretty decent sized spoon, and I mean, this line is kind of old, but this knot held perfectly fine. I didn't have any problems with it, and brought in my big fish, and then I brought in many big fish after that that aren't necessarily on film. But you guys get the idea. I hope that helps a lot of you guys, you know, with your line-to-line knots. That's the big thing about this is, you know, the ability to run braid that's invisible. So that's the way I'd want to do it, you know, if I'm going to be running anything in clear water or anything like that. So get out, give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I wanted to make sure I got this out to you guys while it was still useful, because there's the fall walleye, and a lot of musky anglers can do this too. I don't know, because I know a lot of you guys are real iffy, but this knot should be just fine for musky fishing if you're running a big old leader. I mean, you'd probably be running like a 100-pound leader if you're going to do that. But it's the exact same thing. Run the braid over the leader, same thing. Towards you, away from you, or away from you, towards you, away from you, towards you, away from you, towards you. Make sure you take your leader every time, this is just a reminder, to pull it tight and make sure that the wraps are moving along down it. What I kind of do is I loop and I pull like away and away from where I'm looping it, so that it kind of lines everything up nice and neat, and then you end up with this nice smooth little line knot, and you don't have any problems. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Obviously, if you've been around, you know what's up. I'm glad I could help you guys out. But if you're new here, just remember to